business. On deck, we have got Chris Rubio, followed by Jonathan Jacoby coming up to the stage, bringing some comedy. Got his spot through the early bird sign-up. Give it up, everybody, for Tyler Uslan.
Hi. Yes, my last name is Tyler Uslan, U-S-L-A-N. Not Uslan, not Uslan, Uslan. If you pronounce it wrong, don't worry. You're not the first, and you will definitely not be the last. That's funny to me because I deal with it every day of my life. It's awesome. A lot of you guys know this, but some of you guys don't. I have actually been diagnosed, not like recently self-diagnosed, legitimately by a doctor who like went to medical school and stuff. I've been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, or as it's now known, high-functioning autism. Yeah. Which basically means that I have difficulty judging social situations, or I do, and people don't believe me anymore. It's kind of weird. Where they're like, no you don't, you're looking at me in the eye. I'm like, yeah, do you know how much effort that takes for me? That is not easy. That's like, for me to look someone in the eye while I'm talking to them is like for a person who's considered neurotypical to jump into a freezing cold pool and you know it's freezing cold. And everyone's going, oh, it's fine. And you're going, I know it isn't. I'm going, okay, just keep looking, it's fine. Most of the time I'm not even hearing what you're saying because I'm just going, make eye contact because it's normal and they'll think that you're like them. So, that's a fun little tip. That's a fun little trip inside my head. That's what my life is like. It's awesome. But the nice thing about that is because I used to be so much lower functioning when I was a kid, this is to drive that point home. I was really low functioning when I was a kid. I had difficulty looking people in the eye, like I said. I had difficulty making friends, or basically finding kids who weren't going to try to beat the crap out of me every 10 seconds because I talk too much, which now I'm making that work for me, huh? Yeah! So I sure showed them. That's what I tell myself at night when I'm trying to fall asleep. Anyway, so yeah, I had a lot of these difficulties, and like, my mom still lives in my hometown, which is, I have to say Westlake Village, because if I say Westlake, people think that I grew up in like the hoodiest of hoods over there. I'm like, no, opposite direction, like past Calabasas. And a lot of people, I'm finding a lot of people who live out here don't know what's past Calabasas. They're like, it's like there's a force field and you have to have a certain income bracket to be able to drive through it. And I'm like, I know, I've been on the other side. It's awesome. We have pools and stuff. It's great. There's an Applebee's on every corner. It's magical. It's amazing. It's like Valencia, except it doesn't suck. Or at least I don't think it sucks, because I grew up there. So anyway, my mom still lives there. I'm going to get through this joke eventually. My mom still lives there. And people who knew me growing up, knew me in elementary school and all the way up through high school, will run into her at random places, and they'll go, so what is Tyler up to now? And she's like, well, you know, he's living in his own apartment, and, you know, he's doing stand-up comedy, and he's still in college. And they're like, oh my God, that's so great for him! Because in their head, I wasn't ever moving out of the house. The fact that I have a bank account is like enough that they're just like, oh my God, he's made it, good for him. And doing stand-up and making video games and going to school, that's just icing on the cake. I have already surpassed their expectations. It's great. So anything I do at this point, I'm already set. What was the other thing about being autistic?
Lack of focus.
That's one of the things, yeah. It's kind of, actually it's the exact opposite, where I'll be, I mean, you guys want to see, I can do a quick impression of myself as a kid. This is my impression of me at literally every family function. Ready? What? It's time for dinner? Oh, okay. That's it. That was me at every family function. It's funny if you're autistic or you're a parent of someone who's autistic because you go, ha, yeah, that's a thing. It happens, it does. So what was the other, oh, no, that wasn't it.
Apologizing.
Hang on. That's right, thank you. Thank you, Kara, on the assist. I still do have some difficulty with social situations. I'm off meds, which is great. And that's not even like, I'm off my meds. It's like, no, I made a decision. I decided to not do it anymore. And it's all force of will now. It's not easy, but I do it. And it's really hard. But I still mess up sometimes. Sometimes I'll still say something to someone, I'll realize later, oh, that wasn't cool. Or sometimes I'll step out of my own head as I'm saying it and be like, yeah, dude, that's totally not cool. Stop saying what you're saying. It's happening right now, in fact. It happens through my whole set. That's what happens. So basically, I wish that I could have everyone who I spoke to the day before meet up with me the following day so I could issue my apologies, like a politician, you know. Just pull out the podium and be like, oh, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to apologize for what I said for a few statements yesterday. Bill, you told me your dad died of liver failure. I shouldn't have made a joke about did you get to have a last drink with him. That wasn't okay. Kevin, you said you were getting a cat, and I said that's the only way you're getting any pussy. No, I'm standing by that one. You need to lighten up, okay? Bill thought that was funny, and he was mad at me for making the joke about his dad, so you need to lighten up. Which is another fun thing I get to do. When people do things that are socially incorrect or not okay, and I notice them, I love it because I get to be like super high and mighty and go, dude, if the autistic guy is going, that's not cool, it's probably not cool. Zimmerman. Yeah, I went there. I'm being edgy tonight. It's happening. I'm going to end on this. I barely remember these commercials. I mostly remember seeing them parodied. Do you guys remember those old commercials that Pepperidge Farm used to do, where they had the old guy sitting on the edge of the covered wagon going, do you remember a time when certain people weren't allowed to use certain drinking fountains? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I want them to do commercials like that for our generation, where they're just like, do you remember a time when there were only 151 Pokemon? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Do you remember a time when you had to ask your mother to hang up the telephone so you could look up pornography on the internet? Pepperidge Farm remembers. And you just watch this commercial just like, geez, I got to go buy some Milanos. That guy's right. I remember all that stuff. Anyway, that's my time. Thanks. I'm Tyler Uslan. Good night.